So, hello everyone. If we haven't met before or you don't know who I am, my name's Harry Jones. Essentially, I work as a sales trainer with the Launchpad Collective. I run a course for our members to access sales skills. As my background is in sales, I've been working in sales since 2019, so 6 years now. Um, I've worked in almost every sales role, from the most junior sales person up to a senior sales manager, all the way to having my own outsourced sales business. So um, it's been a whirlwind of the 6 years, but I've done lots of different jobs, have lots of different perspectives. And what I wanted to show you guys today is how sales can change your life story just through photos and just through some memories which are personal to me, which shows me go from a boy really. I was only 20 years old to the person I am today. So just to give you a bit of knowledge about me personally, I live in Brighton on the south coast, not far from where Jane and Summerlee are based, in the Launchpad. Um, I have a dog called Snoop, who's a Springer Spaniel, who takes up most of my energy outside of work. Um, Most of my passions are music. I really like bands. So my favorite, I like rock bands and heavy metal bands. I'm also a massive football fan. For my sins, I support Fulham Football Club. We're not very good, but someone has to support them. So away from work, I like doing loads of things. But this is going to just give you a little bit of insight to me, who I am, how sales can change your life story. And then at the end, I'll tell you a little bit more about the course that we're running here at Launchpad, so that hopefully when future courses become available, you will know what it is, and you will feel confident in if you want to apply for it or not. So this is just going to briefly be a photo journey into how sales can change your life story. So we'll go back almost 10 years ago now. So here's me on the day I left school. Um, I was talented but lazy. The education system didn't really suit me. Um, I was always getting into trouble because I wasn't focusing, or I was spent more time talking to my friends or girls, mainly, than I was focusing on my teachers. Um, I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life at all. I didn't know if I wanted to go to university. I didn't know what career I wanted to have. I simply had no idea. I just left school and kind of hoped for the best. One thing I was always good though at is I was always good at communicating with people. I always had good relationships with my peers and my teachers, and I always felt that I could speak with people no matter who they were, whether it was the caretaker, my PE teacher, the head teacher, my friends, people older than me and people younger than me. I had a good personality, which did get me into trouble a lot, but I was strong, also strong-headed. But like every 16-year-old, every 16-year-old is strong-headed, and I would just the thought of knowing what I was going to do with my life, I had no idea. So here's me on the first day of my first sales job. Um, I spent 4 years from when I was 16 to when I was 20 not knowing what I was doing. I tried and failed at many different things. These include barbering, so cutting hair, um, DJing, so playing music at nightclubs and events and festivals and things like that. I wasn't very good at that, hence why I don't do that right now. Um, I also worked in a shop selling materials to plumbers, so people who fix the your toilet or your bathtub or your shower. Um, that was not the best job in the world. It was very, very hard work. I had to do a lot of manual labor. And I also worked in recruitment. But the one thing I'd stress is I tried and failed at many, many different things. But in every failure, I learned something. And ultimately, the thing I learned was that I just wasn't happy. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wasn't happy in life. I did wanted to get out of the UK. I wanted to experience a new culture. So in 2019, I saved some money and moved to Barcelona to try and get into DJing and promoting work for gigs and events and things like that. Unfortunately, I ran out of money, and I didn't know what to do. So it was either my rent was due on my apartment, and it was either I say to the landlord, "I'm sorry, I can't afford my rent this month," um, I move back to England, or I start applying for other jobs. And I was lucky to get this job, which was in sales. When I say lucky, I was super, super, super lucky to get this job. Um, someone took a chance on me. So I had no experience doing sales before. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. Um, I turned up to my interview. The assessment that I had to do, I did terribly, but a director and the manager there, they took a chance on me. Um, and without that chance, I wouldn't be sitting here talking with you today. And what I'm hoping to achieve with the course that I'm running is that more and more people get access to that chance that I had so they can kickstart their career in sales. In that time, in my first sales job over in Spain, I managed to learn all the skills needed to have a career in sales. And by that, I mean it was every single skill you could think of: learning how to talk to people on the phone, learning how to speak on the phone, learning how to send good emails, learning how to communicate professionally, learning how to basically be a full time sales employee with all of the aspects of the skill that you need to be successful in, with experience from older and younger people also doing the job at the same time. So it was a great place for me to learn and actually embed myself into into a mindset of wanting sales to be my career. Um, this is a picture with my friend Ronan. We actually started on the same day together, and if you fast forward 6 years to now, he now leads a global sales team for a massive, massive tech company. And I now run my own sales training business. So in the space of 6 years, we've managed to go from not knowing what sales is to having very successful careers in it, just from this chance that was taken on both of us at that time. COVID strike. So COVID did a lot of things to a lot of people, as you probably are aware. After 1 year away, I decided to move back to the UK. But I was lucky enough to get a role at a new company. However, COVID struck, and the role that I recently hired for, this was just me after my first day, got put on hold. So for 6 months, I had off work, basically. I was back to square one, working on jobs again and being unemployed. So I thought maybe my time in sales had gone and I didn't necessarily have a chance again. I was invited back, but then disaster strikes. So my job reopened and I did go back to work in sales. But after 2 weeks being back after COVID, they made my whole team redundant. So they got rid of the whole team that I had joined. In hindsight, this is the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me realize this. During my previous role, I had learned the skills to be successful in sales. So why don't I start doing my own thing? Why can't I use the skills that I have learned to sell myself and the skills that I have learned and create my own sales business? So starting my own thing. So knowing I knew how to sell because of the chance that was taken from me and the skills that I had learned in my job living in Spain, I called lots of different smaller businesses, offering them a service as a salesperson. I did it on a freelance basis because they could pay a smaller price than someone hiring them full time. I wasn't perfect at this point. I was still working out how to be good at this. I was learning every day. I got myself on every course I could find. I paid money out of my own pocket to go and speak to people, paid for mentors, paid for courses. I tried to sign up for everything I could for free because I knew I wasn't perfect, but I knew I could sell myself. And the more I learned, the better I could sell the product for the person I am working with. However, I know everyone's not necessarily fortunate enough to be able to do that, but I gambled on myself and thought, you know what, I could start my own thing and I can make it work. And for a short period, it went really well. And it went so well that I was asked to lead a team for the first time. So after working freelance for a while, a friend of mine who had seen the good work I had done for other customers um, invited me to help set up the sales team at his startup company, which was based in Brighton. Um, it was a very different experience because previously it was just me. I managed my own diary. I didn't have to train anyone. I didn't have to coach anyone. I didn't have to develop anyone. And when I started to train people, I had an idea of Hannah, the lady sitting next to me, and she came from a background of not having sales as well. And me on my own managed to teach her how to do it. And she now is, to this day, is still very successful in doing it. So I had an idea in my head that was brewing. And that idea was, why can't I train and help more people learn how to do sales? So I had an idea that we could both support businesses who couldn't afford sales full time, but also wanted the opportunity to people who wanted to kickstart their career in sales at the same time. So, firstly, you can help smaller businesses who may not have the budget grow and expand without them having to invest lots and lots of money, but also give the chance to someone to learn a skill. And I'm always going to go back to that phrase, take a chance. Allow more and more people to have that opportunity of the chance I had to learn the skill of sales to help them kickstart on their career. I met two like-minded people. So the two people I helped start Second Voice with, Ben Bennett and Sarah Osterholzer. And the business, Second Voice, was born. So from not having a job and unemployed during COVID, 3 years later, in 2023, we had a business set up, and that business was Second Voice, offering opportunities and helping people get chances within sales. Growing. So we had loads of success with this. Over the course of 2 years, we went from a team of 3, with me being the only salesperson, to a team of 12 with an office in Brighton and dozens of happy customers. From this experience, I learned that sales isn't just you selling a product to you. Sales is everything you do in a day-to-day life in your business. It's how you communicate with your customers day in, day out. It's how you promote your business on social media or to the outside world. It's how you speak to potential people who would want to invest and give you money to your business. The communication skills that you learn when you go through sales training helps you through every single aspect. It also helped me learn more about teaching and coaching and training, learning what is important to people, whether that's financial freedom or learning a new skill or them wanting to start their own business. It helped with me learning empathy. It's understanding that people laugh, they cry, they have good days, they have bad days, they go through every single emotion that you do. And when you work on your own, you don't necessarily realize that because you're in your own bubble. But when you're managing a team and a business, you understand this, and it helps the way in which you train, but it also helps the way in which you sell because you understand that your buyer is also a person like you, not just a potential customer. I had a full circle moment. So at the end of last year, during my time at Second Voice, I managed to scale my SDR team. So SDR team means sales development rep, so salesperson doing the job, to a team of 6. None of these people had sales experience before. They had all come from various different backgrounds. Some people had worked in hospitality, some people had worked in retail. Another lady was a teacher. Some people had decent level of education. They'd been to university. Other people had hardly any education and didn't have school qualifications. You also had people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different heritages, different cultures, and it made up a really good mix of a team. All of the people working with me learned the skill, and are currently working in various different sales roles. So sales is a skill that you can take with you as you go. If you know how to do it, you only need to learn how to do it once. And unlike some skills where you could only hit a ceiling, with sales you can always get better and better and better with the more you learn and learn and learn. So this was a full circle moment for me. This was us celebrating our best ever month, which was November of 2025. So this time last year. Um, and as only 5 years ago, I was in exactly their shoes. So I had just started maybe 8 months ago in the sales world before having any idea of what it was. I was a junior sales rep in their situation, but fast forward 5 years, which is in the scale of your career, not a massive amount of time. I was managing a team and helping other people learn. So if you get satisfaction out of helping people get better in their lives, sales is a skill that that not only can help you, but can help others around you develop themselves as well. But ultimately, you have to do what's right for you. So after 3 successful years at Second Voice, I had the biggest danger every salesperson gets, and that's burning out. Managing a business, a team, customers, all of these things got to me. I got stressed, I got burned out, and I had a reflection in terms of what do I want to do? I realized working 12 hours a day, 5 days a week wasn't necessarily the most healthy thing. So I wanted to work less, but also still help people at the same time. So I went back to what I did before. I sold myself. I worked with lots of different businesses doing lots of different roles. I did sales reps. So I did the actual sales as a salesperson. I did coaching roles. So that was helping reps who were already in the role coach them and be better at their job every day. I also did training roles where I help people, again, likewise, who hadn't done sales before, learn how to do sales and help them kickstart their career. But I made it work for me. And I worked as many days as I wanted to work. And I worked with whoever I wanted to work with. But without the sales knowledge I had learned at the start, I could never have done this. And I could never have dreamt of having the freedom and flexibility and the life that I live now without learning the skill of sales. So fast forward to the present day. Now I'm all interested in giving back. So I was lucky enough to start working with a company called Good Effects at the start of this year. And Good Effects, what we do is we repurpose the fees that businesses get charged through the banking and financial products that they use into charities and good projects like the Launchpad Collective, for example. The founder, Rob, and I were always dreaming of being able to run courses to help people access sales skills. The reason why we wanted to partner with charities, in particular the likes of Launchpad, is I know how hard it is to get a sales job. I had to go through countless interviews. I had to pay out of my own pocket for loads of training and development. And not every single person may have access to that. And it might actually turn away potentially really talented people from a career that could take them and let them do whatever they wanted to do. So what I wanted to do with the Launchpad is create a course, a sales course, which I don't know if any of the attendees are on, but some of you might have heard of, which is totally free for you guys to attend, which can give you guys the skills needed to hopefully have a career in sales like mine. So just to summarize kind of what sales has brought me, it's taken me from not knowing what it was 6 years ago. I am now my own boss. My time is my time, and I can work for whoever I like, as I know the value I can deliver. Financially, I'm in a better place, but I can also give back and offer people opportunities that they may not be able to have had before because of the sales skills that I've known, and I can teach other people. But most of all, I love what I do, and I enjoy almost, because sometimes the days are still stressful, every day. So that's sort of what sales has brought me, and I hope gives you a visualization of what sales can bring you. Um, I don't know if any of you have any questions about me, my journey, the presentation that I showed you now, and then I can tell you a little bit more about the course that we're running afterwards.